Well, congrats on the quarter. That digital number was huge once again. We know it's something that you've really focused on during your tenure at Chipotle so far. I'm curious how much you think the pandemic will alter consumer behavior moving forward, and if digital will just become the new normal and all of those customers that you've gained will really stay and continue to interact with the brand that way.
Yeah, so look, obviously, as you mentioned, we've invested quite a bit over the last couple of years to create the digital access point. And obviously, consumer behavior, because of the pandemic, accelerated the adoption of our digital channels. And I think that behavior is going to be one that people actually like the experience where, they can order ahead, select a pickup time, and really the convenience and the contactless nature of the occasion, I think is always going to be valued for those occasions going forward. So, we're optimistic that new people are getting this new experience, and it's going to be part of their occasions going forward. Obviously, I do think as we start to bring back the dining rooms, you get a little different level of customization when you're able to come into our restaurants and order down the food line. But I think people are going to be staying with our digital access, as evidenced by just the tremendous amount of people that are signed up for our rewards program and so on and so forth.
You just mentioned reopening up some of the dining rooms. How are you evaluating if and when it's safe to start doing that? Who will you be taking your cues from and how might Chipotle look different moving forward, in this new environment that we're operating in?
Yeah, obviously, to reopen the dining rooms, it's really going to be a partnership with the local government folks, as well as the state and federal. And then obviously you have to be informed by the data and the science that's coming out and working with folks like the CDC as well. And we're fortunate we've got a leader over food safety and wellness. She is very much connected with all the data, the science, and the right people at the CDC to keep us well informed. So it's really going to be a partnership. To your point on how these dining rooms reopen, obviously we're going to do everything we can to give people confidence that it's a healthy environment, and it's an environment that if they decide they want to dine in, they can have confidence in that experience. So we'll be adopting new practices. Probably a lot of things we'll put behind the counter. People will have to request them so that when they do get them after reuse, we're able to sanitize them before it gets reused. And, we'll continue to adopt accordingly.
It's a time of great uncertainty for the restaurant industry at large. Executives, including yourself, obviously on the call yesterday, seem pretty optimistic and upbeat about the future. What do you foresee as the biggest challenge for the brand moving forward and getting people back into the stores?
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be consumer psychology of how they want to access restaurants going forward. And, I believe once we get beyond really the anxiety around the current situation, consumers will go back to some behaviors, as they get back to going to work. They'll be in their cars more, they'll be out and about, which I think will present opportunities for occasions that don't exist today. But, based on the consumer research we've done, I think consumers are going to be willing to go back to restaurants, to have that dine-in experience. The pace at which that comes back, I think, will really be dictated by, what we see as far as the data and how each individual community really gets up to speed on the impact of the virus in their community. So that's why I think it's really critical that we continue to stay focused on giving people access through these digital channels like order ahead, delivery, and giving them the confidence that all these occasions can be done in a healthy way and a very, delicious way as well.
It's definitely delicious, Brian. It's Kelly back here in the studio. I had my own. It's a godsend in these days that you guys are open, although I was the crazy lady banging on the glass at a New Jersey store lately trying to get the food. I won't go into the details. But listen, my question is, first of all, I enjoy being able to drive up my car and have the food brought, curbside. I'm curious if that's profitable enough to stick around for the long term. And I also wonder if your stores are at 50% or less capacity for a while, are you guys going to make money? What's that break-even level of capacity that you're targeting?
Yeah, fortunately for us, the bottom, it appears, was about a negative 35% in same-store sales. And that's roughly right around where we break even in our restaurants on cash flow.
Right.
And, the most recent trends that we've seen have improved from there. And, the most recent couple of weeks in April, we saw sales in the negative high teens. I never thought I'd be really excited about negative high teens, but what that does for us is it now presents positive cash flow coming out of those restaurants, which really gives us the liquidity and the confidence to continue, to invest in the business accordingly. And I think we've been really consistent with how we've chosen to invest to date. The first priority has been investing in our people, our culture, and our values. And then, from there, obviously the digital, and then the opportunity for us to continue to grow our business through new real estate opportunities. But we're very fortunate with our balance sheet and the liquidity situation we have.
That's impressive. You can base your break even is minus 35% same-store sales, and I assume you're hoping we're above there by the second half.
Yeah, look, if the improvement continues, obviously, that will be a really positive thing for the business.
Yeah.
And the point I want to make is at that we're breaking. Obviously, we are investing above and beyond that. So we are spending cash on CapEx and additional employee compensation and G&A.
Yeah.
But the good news is the cash burn becomes less and less as our sales continue to recover from that negative 30, 35 standpoint.
Absolutely. Brian, thank you so much for joining us today. Kate, thank you as well.